Are you on mute?
Oh, it's gonna be one of those.
Just your fan, guys.
Coming up on First Course Verse, don't nobody tell us we ain't eclectic. That's next. Welcome to episode 98 of Verse Course Verse. I am DL, doing well. With me is Svend, production lover Knutsen. Svend, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
You are. I thought that.
How are you?
I'm doing
Who
really
knew?
well. Also here today is evil Art and Kettlebells Jimmy. Evil.
This is amazingly close to the first take.
How are you?
I'm doing so great. I love how you included two of my favorite things in there and made them sound so cool.
Wait, it was kettlebells and what else?
Art.
Art.
Art and Kettlebells.
Like a man art or
As you can hear, making
Same.
a just silly scene is Rachel. Your writing better not be lazy polio. Rachel. Who wrote Mickey? Who wrote the Mickey song?
Oh, the
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind.
Oh my god.
Hi, I'm doing very well. I have lots of alcohol in my system already.
And you have 20 more cups to
I
go.
have 20 cups to go. You guys.
We're together again. Do you guys know when the
Really?
last time we were together was?
Yeah. Backwards. Let's start with 99.
Chocolate starfish.
That was a good year.
Let's do them again next year.
Yeah, Woodstock 99.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't. My therapist already is making way too much money off me.
We are here. This is one of our last episodes of the year, kind of already in our end of the season episodes. Evil and I did our samesies since we had two of the same favorite albums of 21. We talked about them. That was a wonderful episode. We had a blast fanboying out. And then we did the Beatles, Rachel and I.
Yeah, we did.
Some more fan peopling out.
Fan Ewing out.
Rachel is slowly coming over to the dark side, becoming more and more of a Beatles fan, which was the whole point of this entire podcast. We have made it to the What Did We Miss in 2022 episode. Hey, Svend.
Hey.
Do you get to concentrate on new music still with your job? And I know that you have to listen to a lot of stuff.
A lot, apparently. It kind of depends on what I'm working on. Sometimes things get handed to me as like references for a project I'm working on. Like it's going to be kind of like something that already exists out there. And that's usually how I find, like this past year, that's how I found a lot of new music was people telling me to listen to stuff.
So, Rachel, you have told me once upon a time a couple weeks ago that you still had 82 albums left to listen to this year. How's that going?
It's down to at least 79.
You've only listened to 3?
What? 3 of those were on this list of 20, so that narrowed it down. So only a couple more.
Evil, I think you and I have tried the most to keep up all year
Hurtful.
Mhm.
as best we could. Well,
You don't know what me and Sven do in our spare time.
I have to. You tell me all the time that you haven't. I believe 2 weeks ago you said I still have 82 albums
You don't know
that
how
I
many
haven't
I
listened to
already
this year.
know. That was just 82 left.
I'm right, and you know it. Evil. Is it a little disheartening the fact that I think I sent you the thing from Saving Private Ryan where the medic is trying to save the dude, and he
Yeah.
does, and then the guy just gets shot in the head, and he starts screaming like, "Just give us a fucking chance."
Right.
Well, that was this year, right?
That was this year. There's so much music.
Yeah.
So much.
I think every band that has ever existed came out with an album this year,
Or 4.
Yeah.
Some put out 4.
or they pulled a King Gizzard.
Or a Weezer.
But tons of stuff we've missed. We're going to miss more. We are covering a lot tonight. We've covered a lot over the year. This included, it'll be over 50 new albums. That's plenty. I'm proud of that. They just every day. Nas just came out with the end of his trilogy thing. It wasn't even on my radar at all. And it's supposed to be amazing. I don't know if I'm even going to listen to it before the finale.
You know, there was an album that I didn't realize came out this year. All year, I've been listening to the song, thinking it was an old song.
Really?
I noticed it came out this year, And
You dumb idiot.
Oh,
I'm an idiot.
well, there you go. We picked 20 albums that we didn't get to that we're going to try to touch on. We aren't going to do the whole 6-minute thing. This isn't going to be a 5-hour episode. I don't even think that all of us listen to every single one of these albums.
What?
We're going to do a few breakdowns. Most of all, it's going to be fun because us four are back together again. In 2
Yay!
weeks, we're going to be in the woods, partying,
Yay.
recording like 10 different things.
10.
It's going to be a good
Blair
time.
I
Witch
heard
style.
4.
Tune in for the next few episodes to find out because we're going to be revealing some extra stuff we're doing in season 3.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Dun, dun.
Things are gonna get sexy.
Things are already sexy. It's so unfortunate these people can't see me. Before we get into those, though, we got to talk about the most important part of the night. What are we drinking tonight?
Sweat.
Evil, I haven't seen your drink yet, so I'm going to start with you.
I was drinking Manhattans earlier and I ran out, and now I'm just drinking scotch. So
It's gonna be
yeah,
a fun night.
That's
various scotches. I got a new bottle of Oban 14 and an old bottle of
Nice.
Macallan and an old bottle
Scotch,
of Balvenie.
scotchy,
So
scotch.
I'm just
Got
scotch.
a lot of bottles.
I have a kind of a non-traditional Caparina tonight.
Ooh, that's
It's-
pretty.
Yeah.
Colorful.
So I did it like a traditional Caparina. It's fine sugar, it's muddled lime, and then some Nova Fogo, some cachaca. Is it cachaça?
So
Sorry, Brazilians. I
Idiot.
do. It's an amazing alcohol. Honestly, like Nova Fogo is fucking amazing. It's like funky rum. I just love it. It's so good. The only different thing that I did is I muddled blackberries and blueberries with the lime. And I added a little bit of club soda because we got a long ways to go tonight. And I'm ready to go.
that sounds good.
It's delicious. Svend, what
Yeah.
are you drinking?
beer.
Hey-oh.
Lagunitas Hazy Wonder. That's my unfiltered 6% alcohol
Woo.
with 3 kinds of hops that I'm down.
I like
tonight.
Lagunitas.
Yeah, it's a good brewery.
Rachel,
David.
last but not least, who's already a couple sheets to the wind, about to
Yeah.
get a third. What are you doing
I'm
tonight
just hanging out.
Oh my god.
as far as drinking?
Just doing stuff.
I have
What is
20
that?
solo cups.
Oh no.
20 solo.
So for every album, you're gonna shoot.
Okay, I think I'm being protected. I think there's got to be
Water?
like soda and apple cider and stuff in here too. I think he knows that I've already had a couple of glasses of wine.
Are you supposed
Oh.
to drink yet?
I don't know, man. I didn't drink it all. I just took a sip. It's Coke.
That's what we're drinking tonight. We're doing our What Did We Miss? It's our last episode before we get to all of us in one room or campfire or whatever we're doing. Damn it.
Yay.
It's going to be a blast.
Pool. I thought we were
Oh, that's right. We were gonna put
in the
a
pool.
We're through the
On
pool
the
And in the
around
pool.
With the pool.
and
We can't
over the
do this
pool
again.
and under the
We
pool.
can't do this again.
We are the
About
pool.
the pool and suspecting the pool. We're going to take a
Evil's,
break.
Evil's the only smart one.
We'll be right back.
Sleeping on a plane in the future. Sit on the phone, watch TV.
We are back. Let's get into these motherfuckers. Before we start on our 20 albums, we got to do the friendship test.
Ah, fuck it. This is hard.
Then let's go right to you, Sven. Let's make it even harder.
That's what she said.
Fuck. Why
What
did I
is
go blind?
everybody's favorite album out of these 20 gonna be?
Oh my gosh.
Evil. I think Evil might be into Porcupine Tree.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
That's a
I-
very
that's
good
my
guess.
guess.
I am a fan.
For Evil. Rachel, immediately I wanted to say Motomami, but later down the list, Crash, Charlie XCX.
Them femme pops.
I feel like I'm going with Charlie XCX.
Charlie
For you.
XCX it is. I think that's a good
I
pick.
don't feel that confident.
Well, that's because she's making mad face.
I think she's changing her mind right now.
That was going to be my pick for her, and now I'm not
Yeah,
so
sucks
serious.
going first.
Rachel does not have a good poker face at all. All right, what about me, Sven?
Unraveling by Pup.
Pup
P-U-P.
the band.
I'll get into why
That's a
later.
good pick. Mr. Evil himself. What did you pick for us jokesters?
I'm hoping I'm going to get one of these right. And I think I'm going to get them all wrong.
That's usually
Okay.
how we do it.
I'm making a very lazy pick.
Those are usually the smart ones, though.
I'm going to go all 3 of you.
Oh.
Willow.
Ooh. That is really lazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Willow.
Really lazy.
That's the surprise of the night, I
It's a
think.
dangerous pick.
Rachel, what about you?
Everybody's Rage Against the Machine.
Call back. Nice. I
think
like that.
I'm gonna agree with Sven on Pup for David.
The band.
Svend, I'm going to agree with evil and say coping mechanism.
Wello.
Evil, I'm going to say Alex is on fire because he got so defensive about
Alexis.
how to say Alex. Alex is on fire. That's evil. I
Okay,
win.
Good. What about me? Let me go back up to my front of my notes. You know what? I am going to change it because of the
change it now.
face Rachel made.
Oh.
XCX, whatever.
Oh.
That was going to be my pick for Rachel. I'm changing it to Tuvlo, and she shakes her head again.
You don't
No,
know
I
me
have
at
a
all.
feeling that
Keep
her
changing
favorite
it.
is what I
Go
picked
ahead.
for my
Changing it.
favorite.
Evil, I also picked Porcupine Tree because duh. And Svend,
Prickly.
this might have been a strategy from me from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I'm going with Willow.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I mean,
Everybody picked Willow for Svend.
Everybody picked Willow for me. What, did I like text David for like 10 hours?
Do you remember
about
last
it?
year when I was surprised that everybody picked Mogwai? You were all like, dude, you talked about it like 20 times. All right,
You dumb
let's
idiot.
get to our 20 albums. Let's start with number 1, and we start with Rosalia's Motomami. Sven, did you give this album a shot? And what type of shot?
I don't know. I love me some reggaeton.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely gave it a shot. Like, I love the little sprinkling of like J-pop, Japanese stuff mixed with the reggaeton thing. I'd actually never listened to any of Rosalia's other
never heard of her.
stuff, but this
El Malcayer.
I bet that's exactly how you say it too.
definitely different. I've also enjoyed the fact that it was not in English. Every time I get to listen to something that is in a language I don't speak fluently, I can just listen to the vocals as if it's another instrument and not have
Yeah.
to like discern
Yeah.
meaning and trying to, I'm
a good
sure
point.
there's a lot of thought put into the poetry, but in this case, it's lost on me. This was dope though. I like it.
Sven liked it. Did Rachel?
Muy bueno. Me gusta.
So you knew what she was talking about.
That's the extent of my Spanish, those two phrases. This just had a real sick beat to it. So she's from Catalonia
Yeah.
in Spain, and I don't think that we've...
Dude, you know what's nuts about Catalonia? Bagpipes. Play better bagpipes than the Scot.
Whoa,
and
careful.
Technically,
Whoa,
man.
that part of
careful.
Spain
Really?
is considered
Whoa.
a Celtic nation. So wrap your head around that.
Hey, Scotland, I love you. Just so you know.
Sven,
I
not
have a
as
Scottish
much.
tattoo.
You do.
I'm drinking scotch tonight.
There we yeah.
Scotch.
Catalonia, great, good music, loved it. Her last album, it was named the best Spanish language album of all time. So this lady
What?
knows, I'm not kidding.
By who?
Rolling Stone on their list of best albums of all time. Apparently they have a list of like 500 best albums.
She's on there?
That last album that she just made is 315.
Going back to our conversation about how you and I kind of gone back and forth on new albums, this is one I found at one point, secretly lobbied for it to be on an episode at one point because I fucking love it.
Did you?
You did?
Yeah, it worked because we're talking about
Did
it.
you do what I did to Sven with Willow?
You sneaky son of a bitch.
When I played the first track the very first time, I'm like, I have never heard anything like this ever before. And it's so catchy and I love it. To Sven's point, it's helpful that my Spanish is not the most fluent.
Bueno.
So I just appreciate it as another instrument. Then I went and I like started poking into some comments on the songs, and it turns out that native Spanish speakers can't even make sense of what she's saying
Oh.
because it kind of rides the line. She throws in English here and there.
Oh, Spanglishy kind of.
A little bit. I think one comment was, this is the final stage of Duolingo. Like, that's really funny. Yeah, it blends so many different styles.
Yes.
There's like flamenco in there. There's jazz, hip hop.
So
It's brilliant.
if
pop.
she is
And I
from...
absolutely love it.
Because I was not listening to the lyrics at all because my Spanish is bad. In Catalonia, they're really apparently pushing Catalan and not Spanish. So I wonder if she's interjecting some of that into there as well.
That could be.
All three of you really dug this.
Did you?
So all four of us. I fucking loved this. I was not expecting to, based on the cover, and I thought it was just going to be some pop, whatever.
Nope.
Exact sentiments of what Evil said. I don't think I've ever heard anything quite like this. I don't think it's perfect. I don't like the most popular song in it, the chicken teriyaki thing.
Hated that song.
That annoyed the shit
How-
out of me.
How is that any different from pepperoni and green pepper, mushrooms, olive chives? I mean,
It's not as good. It's like traditional Spanish with these hip hop beats. It reminds me like Latin Rascal stuff in the 80s. I listened to this a ton. I absolutely loved it. I really liked what Svend said. I viewed it a different way, but you put it really well, Svend, where you said that since you aren't listening to the lyrics because you can't understand it, it just becomes another instrument. And that's kind of how it was for me. To me, it was this woman with this beautiful, beautiful voice. It's kind of like listening to Italian opera. Like you don't want to know what they're saying because it's automatically in your head. It's so beautiful, you can't even comprehend it. I was fucking blown away by how much I enjoyed this album. I'm not saying that the song The Weeknd was in was bad, but I don't know why he didn't need to be in this. He didn't bring anything to the song.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was my only complaint. All four of us love this album. Wow.
Heck yeah.
The second track samples a British artist who goes under the name Burial, which I love, and we will talk about on this podcast at some point. That was like, oh, she knows her shit. She knows music well in very nuanced ways.
Yeah.
And so I think that's when I really was like, okay, now I'm allowing myself to like it because yeah.
I have to retract my bagpipe statement too. That was a foot in the mouth. It's Gallican bagpipes. That's
Edit that
northwestern Spain.
They're
Country.
both in Spain. For an American, that's impressive. That's
Some
close.
poor
That's fair.
Catalonian bagpipe players like, oh, right now.
Which, I had a few favorite songs on this. Hentai, Como un G, La Comi, Versace. Just so many beautiful tracks on here. I have an official music crush now.
Opening track for me is I think because that's what hooked me. And it's so
Same.
singular. I've never heard anything like that song.
I agree. It's that first one really hooked me and made me want to listen to the rest of it.
Sven, favorite song?
Like, I honestly don't know what people don't like about chicken teriyaki. Like,
It's just dumb.
I like it
anyway,
too. I think
it's hentai is probably actually my favorite,
It's
but
fine.
I just had
It's
to I had
so
to stick up
beautiful.
for chicken. I had-
Hentai is
yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, good job, Motomami. Hey, we all loved. Let's go to the next album, which is Hellfire. Rachel, how did you like your car ride in hell?
That's very close to one of the songs that I wrote. Maybe if you were entering hell and you were like, yeah, I love big band music. And then the chorus came on and you were like, why does it feel like someone has taken an egg beater to my brain? That's what the song was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the soundtrack to hell. It was exactly what I thought it would be. It was good. It was fine. I appreciated the
So
musicianship.
what-
It was good.
I love that, like,
Okay.
I have in my notes, pretty fun overall. Rachel's got, like, the soundtrack to hell.
It hurt my brain a little bit. I can't tell if it's fucking brilliant or just a complete train wreck mishmash of different ideas. It sounds like best ideas from like Mr. Bungle and Zappa and Primus and Sonic Youth and a blender with some soy milk and some ice
Wow.
and a whole fuckload of meth and blended it up real fast. And
You had like every single one of my
Yeah.
call outs for an
seriously,
artist. You
that,
just
like,
said.
I
That's
mean, I
amazing.
heard all of
Yeah.
those in there.
Zappa, Primus. Like the only other one that I had was Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Because
Did you look at how many
I-
instruments were on this album?
no, but
It was
I mean, you can
insanity.
tell when
That's
you
what I
listen
mean
to
about
it.
the egg
It's
beater.
like a-
Like, there's so much shit going on.
Yeah.
It's hard to identify things.
I tried to listen to this a lot through the year, and I would constantly make it 4 minutes in and be like, nope, I can't do this. But then I started to get more into it. When I started to find little patches of like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. But I do remember one specific time where my daughter, I was late in getting her to gymnastics. And I remember getting in the car and I had like a mix on of all the albums I needed to listen to. And this came on. I had such a stressed out reaction. It made me almost have like a panic attack. I had to fucking change it. But it is. That's what I wrote. I wrote, if you were watching Dr. Seuss in hell, this is what you would. It is very brilliant, but that doesn't mean that you can really get into it. Man, there's flashes on this where I haven't heard somebody ever do anything like this in a very good way.
I had fun with this. It was a tough listen, but I found ways to make it fun.
Yeah.
I played this game called find the tempo. And every time I think I was winning, there went the tempo. I'm also a huge fan of speak singing.
He does a good job of it.
Yep.
It was like the jazziest trash can rolling down a stairs I've ever heard.
That's good. That's awesome. Yes. We are really good with our descriptors on this. Svend, what was your favorite song on it? Close your eyes and pick one.
I mean, I don't know if it was the very end, 27 questions.
27 different parts of the song.
It was hard.
Rachel, what's your favorite song on it?
Eat Men Eat. That's just the best title.
Oh, have you been doing your drinks, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to drink all these drinks.
I thought they were
don't know,
just
I was
Coke.
thinking. Berry Bramble Truly. That's the last two so far.
Wait, we've only done 2 albums.
I know, but I was drinking before. I'm thirsty.
Evil. What's your favorite song?
I liked Welcome to Hell. I think was probably my favorite.
Same. Yeah, Welcome to Hell is my favorite song. Let's go to our next album. Tove Lo's Dirt Femme.
I remember like collecting ideas to submit, and I saw this was pretty highly reviewed by a lot of outlets, a lot of media. And I gave it kind of a cursory listen, and I thought, there might be something kind of special about this album. And then I sat down and listened to it more critically or deliberately, and I'm like, this is actually kind of terrible. Some weird special hell between Bjork and becoming a Kardashian. I don't know, man. I can see how some of the tracks would be really good dance music in a loud club when you're pouring alcohol down your throat and not really paying attention. When I listened to the lyrics, I'm like, it faded for me pretty fast.
I did not like this. I think the first time I listened to this was after the first time I had heard Moto Mommy. So this didn't stand a fucking chance.
No.
But even if not, like the lyrics to this are so fucking bad. The writing is terrible. The best beat on the whole album is like at the very end. This reminded me a lot of like a female Weekend, but not good. It's what's up?
I have like really good words for that.
Yeah, you do.
I think there's too much alcohol in each cup. I'm just going to say that now. One of my comments on this was that a lot of these albums that we covered have this like 80s vibe, which is very popular right now to sound like the 80s. This album is what a kid that was born in the 90s thinks that the 80s sounded like. And it is garbage. Yeah. This album is so fucking bad.
I agree.
It's really bad.
I have kind of a similar sentiment that I'll talk about later on a different album. But yeah.
I'm not here for this album at all.
Hard to Find Love in a Bar. Suburbia is one of the... Oh my God, it's so stupid. Svend, what did you think of this?
I kind of liked it.
All right.
Sorry.
I mean,
that's what I love about Svend, though, is I can shit on an album for 5 minutes and he'll be like, actually, this album's pretty good.
I mean, it's TikTok and meme music. This is the shit that's going to be the soundtrack for TikTok.
Sure.
Got a lot of cool like ARP and like these cool arpeggio synthy things, and I don't know. I'm not repulsed by it as much as you guys are, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Sorry, let's start with Evil. What's your favorite song on the album?
To Die For and Call on Me would both be musically would be danceable, but when she's singing,
No one dies for love.
Doesn't. If those were just instrumental tracks, they'd be good dance music.
The No One Dies for Love thing, that was my favorite, but I didn't like it. Rachel.
David, I'm going to say To Die For You because she used numbers. The title of the song. And that's just clever.
Svend, what's your favorite song?
I guess now it's To Die For.
Yes!
But like
I was going to say
Everybody.
Suburbia. I mean,
No.
can you? I have no idea what she's saying on any of this. It might as well have been a Spanish album.
She's pretty blunt with her. I didn't want to have a kid, but I had a kid, and I'm not
It
upset.
sounded like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't know.
This album sucked. Let's go to God's Country by Chat Pile.
The fuck?
I'm going to start this. I listened to this a lot one day. I had a bunch of delays in Dallas, Fort Worth. And for some reason, it was fitting for that to be where I was first listening to this, just walking around. There's some sort of big, humongous depression about listening to this. This is their debut album. What I love is the concept. Chat pile thing, the fragment of Silicious rock, limestone, and dolomite waste rejected in the lead zinc milling operations that accompanied mining in the first half of the 20th century caused all this cancer in all these small mining towns and shit. This term is way overused, but I feel like a band like this, it's justified when you call it sludge.
Yeah.
This feels like what sludge should be to me. It reminded me a lot of Daughters.
Yep.
It's deranged. You hear Primus in there every once in a while. This is a witty album. I don't love it. There's a lot of it I have a hard time with, but there are parts I think are really amazing that get stuck in my head. Svend, did you listen to Chapile?
What the fuck? That is my reaction, and still is. By the time I got done with the Grimace song at the end of it,
Yeah, what the
I was
fuck?
terrified. I
Yeah.
am terrified. It was a very intense listen. There was some interesting social commentary.
Yep.
Did you say witty? Was that your word for?
Yeah, I think it's a really smart album. I think it's
Yeah. I'd second that. It's not something that I'm going to regularly go back and listen to, though.
Yeah. Rachel,
David,
what'd you think of Chapile?
I didn't like it.
I think you have to say it like that from now
Every
on.
time.
I didn't like
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
I totally picked this for you as your favorite, didn't I?
I mean, maybe. Who remembers that
'Cause
far
I
back?
definitely would not have said Charlie Essig.
The band self-identifies as a noise rock subgenre. That is right on the fucking head. It was just,
Evil. I want to know what you thought of Chapile.
I remember skimming it a while ago and being like, I really need to listen to this album because I think I'm gonna absolutely love it. And I sat down and I listened to it, and I'm like, there is Pig Destroyer meets ISIS with Paul Bearer production. And I'm like, I'm fawning over it. And then I listened to it more and more, and it just kind of fell apart for me. And what you see as witty, I see as like overly serious and corny lyrically. And I've heard way too many other bands do this so much better. It didn't age well with me. It's musically, I enjoy it, but it's too much of a drag. And
Oh my God.
Until it got to the end.
It's
And
such a drag.
Then the last track the last track is like tongue in cheek and silly, which gives away what my favorite is. But
One of my paragraphs here was David Soapbox time. This song Why is on the nose to a fault for me. These songs from musicians piss me off. If you feel this way, you shouldn't be a musician. You should be a civil rights lawyer or something, dedicating your life to better the homeless epidemic. These songs don't do anything. That was
yes,
there was a lot of that in this album.
that song is where it started.
Wasn't that
unraveling.
there are people that don't have it was
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
so do something about it. Anyway, I agree. Tropical Beaches, I think, was my favorite. I do love that it's the sound of a fucking gun thing. There was Sven, what about you?
The Grimace JPEG something. What the fuck was it
The
called?
song about him having a
Grimace
bad trip and
JPEG.
thinking Grimace was gonna murder him.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grimace _smoking_weed .jpg.
It felt like
Everybody but me, I like the Tropical Beaches. Let's go to our next album, Melt My Eyes See Your Future by Denzel Curry. Sven, lead us on.
this is a fucking double album, wasn't it? Did we get like bonus points for the shit?
Was this one?
Was this one a
was
double
it?
album?
It could have
I
been
don't
if
think-
Maybe
you found the
Listen
wrong
to it
file.
twice.
Maybe I listened to it twice. No. I thought it was cool. Beat production was cool. This guy had some folks produce and featured and guest on his shit that I thought were really awesome. Like Kenny Beats. Awesome to see him there. One of my favorite bass players.
Yeah,
Thundercat.
Yep.
JPEG Mafia. I don't know. This wasn't as congealed from track to track to track. Things changed enough that this felt like it could have just been a collection of a bunch of singles.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Non-cohesive.
Lyrically, I think he was trying to hold it all together. Sometimes I get into his flow. Sometimes I felt like it was just not my thing. That could just be my ear.
I agree. And I don't want to, because there are people that are very young that are very good at their job. He is still in his 20s. So I thought his lyrics were a little immature compared to the other. There was a lot of drugs, money, regular bitches and hoes sort of stuff. And so I think that I kind of agree with you in that Flo wasn't so great on it. He's very, very talented, but I think that my standards are super, super, super high.
In this year, in 2022, I've found more hip hop albums that I really love
JID.
than I have in probably the last 20 years. God Don't Make Mistakes, JID's Forever Story. This album, we'll talk about something else a little later. I loved it. I thought it was not as creative as JID's album, but it was easier for me to just put on and listen to start to finish. I like this album more consistently. And I agree with all of the criticisms that you guys have put forward. I think those are accurate, but I like this album a lot. Full disclosure, Denzel Curry won me over a while ago because he covered Bulls on Parade, and it was awesome.
It's fucking amazing.
And I I'm going to watch this young gentleman's career with great interest, and he has not disappointed me.
I think this album's great. We've talked a lot this year about early 90s hip hop and a lot of De La Soul vibes and old kickbacks, and it just flows. I agree that in a lot of spots the lyrics aren't great, but I think it's better than a lot of hip hop. I think he's smart. I think there's great hooks. He does have really smart verses dealing with protesting and black relations and COVID and just living in poor black communities. Yeah, I am depressed. So I do drink and I smoke weed just like everybody else I know because life sucks. So fucking what do you want to do about it? I like that. It's cool to hear somebody just admit, yeah, life fucking sucks. That's why I drink and I smoke. It's not because I'm a badass. It's just, it's refreshing coming from a rapper. Kind of same thing as Evil. I've had my eye on Denzel Curry for a while. Yeah. This wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. Production-wise, I think it's incredible. I love the whole early 90s beat thing that's going on here. Sven, what's your favorite song?
I don't know. I think Mental. Yeah. Final answer.
Yeah, that's good.
Mental.
I want to clarify that I don't think this is bad. I'm getting really drunk, guys. This was a very good album.
You know how hard I worked for this the award that she's gonna. God damn it!
Ain't no way. I think
it's a good song.
As I told my cigarette, which I don't even smoke, Walkin' is the shit. I fucking love that song.
It's great.
Demon. That there was some stuff in that track that I was like, this kid is good. I like him a lot.
I had two favorites. It was that one and The Last. I thought The Last was such a good hook. Lyrics are great. Good job, Denzel Curry. You're gonna grow. You're gonna do better. But good job.
It's already doing pretty damn
He's doing
good.
really good.
Yeah. We are gonna take a quick break and we are gonna be right back.
Miss you guys.
We are back, and guess what, people? We've got 2 minutes of metal by none other than Evil Jimmy.
Yay!
Anytime you're ready, Evil, give us 2 minutes of 2022 metal.
Oh, I didn't write down one of the albums. I've talked about the Halo effect quite a bit. We even talked about it in an episode. I love the Halo effect. It's old school melodic death metal, the Gothenburg stuff from the 90s that I love. Absolutely amazing. Cave In released an album. Holy shit, is it good. They've been one of my favorite bands for a very long time. Their bass player tragically passed away in a flaming car accident, but the guy they replaced him with is the perfect replacement. They're one of these bands that kind of cross-pollinate. They all play together in different bands. Revocation, kids don't try this at home. It is extreme metal and it's fucking awesome. Machine Head released one of the best albums of their career, and Vogue from Decapitated is playing with Machine Head. That's why it's so good. Decapitated also put out an album this year. Soilwork put out an album this year. Also tragically lost one of their members, which sucks, but Soilwork, one of my favorite bands, great album. Zeal and Ardor. That feels like it was forever ago. We talked about it earlier this year. If you're into heavy music, listen to Cult of Luna's album, The Long Road North. Some new stuff. Ibaraki's Rashomon, I think is what it's called. Venom Prison, Erebus, awesome. Dream Widow.
Yeah.
Fallujah, Empyrean. I haven't listened to that yet. Allegiant, Damnum, I haven't listened to that yet. Arch Enemy, Crowbar, Animals as Leaders, Amon Amarth, Soulfly, Parkway Drive,
Soulfly.
Rammstein, Creator, Behemoth, Voivod, Meshuggah, Lamb of God, Ozzy Osbourne put out a fucking album, Slipknot, Korn, holy shit.
The Meshuggah was good.
Fucking chill out 2022.
The Meshuggah is always good. And that's Evil's 2 minutes of metal. Let's keep going with some hard rock ishness and talk about otherness by who, Rachel?
Alex is on fire.
The what? Alexa, play
Doesn't
Otherness.
I said that there's a really good variety of screaming to singing. People had really good things to say about it. I kind of sounded like if Nickelback was good.
I mean, that's not an insult. You're saying it's good.
No, it is
They
good.
could be better.
It's good. Do you love this album? Is it your favorite?
I'm gonna give away.
Whisper it.
I've listened to this album a bunch this year.
Oh,
It is squarely in my wheelhouse. I don't dislike their catalog, but I'm not like a huge fan. There's something about this album that I just really dig.
wow. This is where we part ways. I think this album sucks ass. The opening is good. It's got this kind of like semi 2000s emo thrash thing, but more southern. There's cool shit on here, like really cool shit. But this is so one dimensional. And that's what I kept going back to is I just kept hearing the same shit. Reverse the Curse. There are songs like that that work really well. But a lot of this album to me was really dull in the worst way possible.
I feel like you always make me go after you when you're going to shit on an album. Because you know I'm going to redeem it. I liked it. It was psychedelic,
Yeah.
proggy, post-hardcore. Like track 2. How could you not like track 2? At least I thought you would have liked that one. Like, it's got a very Lane Staley quality to
Yeah.
the like sung vocals.
How
the
dare
whole
you.
I'm not a huge connoisseur of screaming vocals. I appreciate them time to time. It was on point in this album. They were clear, full sounding. Guitars on this album were awesome.
They were.
World
They
Stops
definitely
Turning for me was like an epic jam. I'm giving it thumbs up.
What's your favorite on this album? What's your favorite fucking song, Rachel?
Sorry.
Evil, what's your favorite song on this album?
I agree with Sven. Sweet Dreams of Otherness is a great track. It's got
Yeah.
some, like
That was my
Soundgarden
favorite
timing
song.
to it. It's fantastic. But Committed to the Con, the opener, is
Committed to the Con
my-
is good. I did like Reverse the Curse, and that is Otherness. Let's go to Cave World by the Viagra Boys. Evil, what did you think about this one?
It grew on me. The more I listened to this, the more I dug it. Like
Society
it's-
be a
it's
monkey.
like got this serious tone to it, but the music is quirky and
Yeah.
it's still fun. I don't know. I like this. I will probably listen to this more and more.
Yeah.
Exact same for me. Took me a long time to get into this.
It did.
I think
Yes.
one of the big tells for me, and I've talked about this before, is my music guru is my uncle. He loves this album so much. And so I kept giving it a chance. And yeah, essentially, it's so quirky and unique. Tom Waits meets Ween meets They Might Be Giants. It's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I listened to it a ton of times, and yeah, and I'm liking it more.
You know
and
what
more
this
and
reminds me
more.
of? The South Park, but for post-punk rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's groovy, it's synthy, it's post-punk. It makes fun of all the right shit. It pushes things to like perspectives to the extreme. Like, it was a fun listen.
I like this. It sounded like Joy Division to me a little bit. No?
Really?
I had written that down around troglodyte, and then I wrote play disorder, and then you can argue with me.
Argue.
Do those things.
You're a troglodyte.
It was good though.
I would say that it has a very genuine punky feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, what's your favorite song on this?
It is troglodyte. There's something about it. It gives me the vibe of a rocked out version of the soundtrack that Mike Mothersbaugh did for Steve Zissou, The Life Aquatic.
But it's not David Bowie.
No, it's not David Bowie. You ain't no ape. You're just a troglodyte. That's just funny. That's
My daughter and I have been walking around the house for like a week now going, leave society be. Svend,
hilarious. Oh
what's your
my
favorite
God, I
song?
love
Troglodyte.
And Rachel
Yep.
too?
Yeah.
Everybody but me.
Everybody loves it.
He goes to work on his computer.
A monkey.
I don't know.
Yeah. I Walked With You a Ways by Planes.
Fuck yes.
I'm the one that starts. Production on this album is incredible. Like, fucking incredible. Every banjo pluck, every drum mic, every guitar strum is so fucking perfect on this. It's like a less 90s, more authentic Dixie Chicks.
No.
It's like literally what I wrote was
Really?
like the Chicks, because they're just
not-
chicks now.
There's no Dixie.
like the Chicks, but more country, less pop rock.
What the fuck ever. They're the fucking Dixie Chicks.
I wrote, "This is Grace Potter and the Nocturnals filtered through the Dixie Chicks."
We all made the connection.
Not me.
Unfortunately, I don't love the lead singer's voice. She's not a bad singer. I just don't love her voice. But other than that, this is a solid album. Bunch of gals that grow up listening to like Cheyenne Twain and the Judds. It's just good. It's good shit. It's not something I'll listen to a bunch, but I fucking dug it. Sven,
Fuck
what
yeah,
about
you
you?
get a little bit of that Shania, like you just said, some Martina McBride, the Chicks, like we just Dixie Chicks, whatever you want to call them. Everything is so crisp and clear. It's so clean, as you said.
Yeah.
The production is so awesome on this. Harmonies, the chords, the harmonies are so tight. I got stuck on this one. It was hard to move past and get to the next song. I played this one a ton.
Awesome.
I did not make the connection with all of these country bands that y'all made. I made a connection with Fleetwood Mac. I really like this.
It's funny because I made that connection with a different album that we're going to talk about later.
Interesting. Billy Woods. I thought this was really good cooking background music. It's not something that I'm going to listen to again, but
Killed Evil.
You broke
I
evil.
did.
So why? I mean, for somebody that's so big in the Dixie Chicks and like the kind of the 90s, like,
oh, for sure.
is this just not fake country enough for you?
No, it seemed, I feel like I like a lot of like pop country.
Oh, this is too authentic.
And this is too authentic for me. Get the banjos out of
insane.
here.
We need a song. Never mind. Evil. What'd you think about this?
All of the things that you all said, except for Rachel, are true. So well produced, so well executed. I suffer from a trauma from my youth where my mom told me that when I was older, I would like country music. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. No, I won't. And I don't like country music that much. And so this is not my thing. This is one where I listen to a couple of tracks. I'm like, this is really good at what it's doing, but it's not for me. And we have 20 albums to go through, and I'm not going to listen to the rest of this one. So I'll let you guys praise it for what it is, because I do think it's good. It's just not my thing.
Makes sense. My favorite song is Hurricane. That song is fucking fantastic. I really liked this. It's actually same here. It's not something that I'm really going to listen to much, but I really liked this. It was well done.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
definitely respected.
I almost picked Hurricane. It feels like something that I would want to be a part of and actually like play on. But I think my favorite was Last Two on Earth. I don't know, laid back and almost anthem-like about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I Walked You a Ways. It just was a really good way to end the album. And so I kind of love that about it. I did love No Record of Wrongs. That kind of sounded like Portion for Foxes, a little Rilo Kiley to me.
Next up, I Love You, Jennifer B by Jockstrap. Svend, what you got?
Dude, if Billie Eilish was more hardcore and less pop. I think it was pretty awesome. I liked it a lot. The sampling in it was nuts. The production is insane. I wish I would have had more time with this one. This was one of the ones I listened just like on a commute. A lot of these I had to listen to like between like my house and a gig, or my house and a meeting, or like my house and Ontario, Oregon, because Idaho's fucking stupid. And this was one of those. I'm gonna go back and listen to it a bunch more because I remember liking it.
I have eggnog in my cup now.
Oh,
Gross. Sorry.
You know how to settle your stomach after a long night of drinking?
eggnog.
Pour some
A
eggnog
lot.
in there.
You should also have some sweets and some milk.
Jennifer B by Jockstrap. I was a big fan of this. It sounds a little bit like doing LSD. It had kind of a Regina Spektor vibe to it. And also the ending kind of sounded like opera recorded in a bathroom. There's a lot about it that I really liked.
I've never found anything recorded in a bathroom that I did not like.
Agreed.
I don't think it's fair to do a quick fire-ish review of this album.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think this album might be genius.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need way more time to figure that out.
We have 2 weeks.
I don't know what my favorite song would be. I just know I need way more time with this.
Yes.
It's so experimental. It's so creative. Is this well reviewed? Is this like a
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because it should be.
Yep.
What is the band that everyone's fawning over? The black something something something. The black bluegrass stupid chicken whatever.
Are you talking about Ants from Up There?
Yes, they're all just playing hipster chicken with each other.
Black
no one
Country
wants to.
New Road.
Yes, I will be the first to admit that album is not good. Now you can all be honest with each other over it. Let it go.
Love the honesty.
Let it go.
The influences are very obvious here. I hear a lot of Beck. I hear a lot
yeah.
of Portishead.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of Wham.
Yes.
God damn. Weird orchestral pitch changes. Really cool, like Radioheady stuff. I love the warmth and the filter changes and things. They're just, yeah, you're right. They're doing different shit. There are times where I do think it's a weakness on this album. There's a lot of old Casio keyboard. Wait, here's a demo noise. Let's put that in here. Here's a demo noise. Let's put that in here. There was a little bit of that I was like, okay, let's stop being hipsters and get on with the song. But I agree. I think it was a really good album. I'm with you. I need more time on this. I can't figure out like the random key changes and things like that. Is this brilliant or is this just musicians, hey, let's be edgy and put a change right here? I can't figure it out. My favorite song is Neon, the very first song. I wrote that it is beautiful, dark, open musings backed by the original Zelda soundtrack from Nintendo.
I went with the one that's probably like closest to a ballad. What's it all about? There's just something about the way it just has this roundness and fullness. And
I said Concrete Over Water.
That's a good song.
I really like that one.
I don't know. There's so much
That's
going
fine.
on in this album. I really don't know. I need more time.
TBD. Let's go to Heroes by The Midnight. Rachel, starting with you.
I struggle with this one. This was a suggestion by me. I saw them at ACL. They were so good live. Going from hearing a band that was fucking amazing in person to recorded, I really struggled with. I did not love this album. I thought it was really good, but having them be so good in person made me expect more out of this album, I think, and it did not deliver in the way I wanted it to.
It's like 2022 Rick Springfield with about 40% less testosterone.
Ooh, yikes.
So right up your alley.
I didn't dislike listening to it. I listened to it the first time on a walk with the dog, and I always feel good when I'm walking the dog, so I had endorphins going. So I'm like, this isn't bad. And then I sit down and listen to it. I'm like, it's not good though. And so I'm kind of there with it.
Yeah.
So I fucking love synthwave. It's been one of my favorite genres for probably about 10 years now. I really feel that there are two types of synthwave right now in this very much of an oversaturation that we're dealing with. One of the types that is synthwave, it's something intangible. It's this dark, mysterious representative of this subculture that doesn't really exist, but that you want to be in. It's a place where people drive through the desert on mescaline and nothing bad happens, and couples make love on stars, and people wear power gloves to help them through life.
It's backcountry.
It's Bat Country mixed with Blade Runner. That is good synthwave. And then there is the other synthwave that are hipsters trying to be that, and it is the worst fucking form of art in the world, and this is that. I fucking hate this album so much.
Sorry. Honestly, I heard them in person. They were fantastic. And then I listened to this album and I was like, everybody's going to hate me for putting this album on this list. And I'm sorry.
I don't hate you at all for putting it on I mean, shit, it's music.
It's not good. It's not great
good.
though.
It's not.
There's so much better than this, I promise.
At the top of my notes, I wrote, tell me more about this. Because I'm like, is this something a fan submitted or is this a band that listens to the podcast?
Was me. I'm sorry.
But we haven't gotten to Svend yet. We haven't gotten to Mr.
I'll
Positivity.
do my duty. I agree with your observation or your comment about the types of synth wave, and this is possibly a copycat. I like how full this album sounds. This is an album that I think you can only appreciate with headphones on. All the tracks are spread pretty wide stereo. For me, it was very much like a cool audio sensory experience. All in all, it's not the awesomest album. It's not the worst.
Rachel, what's your favorite song on Heroes?
Change Your Heart or Die. They were all subpar. I'm just pointing my eyes and
Pointing my eyes.
pointing my eyes.
I think it's Brooklyn Friday Love. That's the one where
Yeah.
I got the Rick Springfield
Yes.
vibe. That's
Ooh,
where I made that.
Sounds like Sven. Is that
well,
yours
it's
too,
got-
Sven?
the horn saved it for me too.
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't pick I don't give a shit. I really
That's
I did
fair.
not like this album.
Sorry.
No, you stop being sorry. Don't
Sorry
ever
about
be
it.
sorry for recommending an album. We're going to like albums, we're not going to like albums. It doesn't make anybody right or wrong. This is proving to be a very long album. Friend episode.
It could
We're
totally
going
now
to take
have
a
a
break. We'll be right back. We are back. Hey, we got another special something for you, and it's going to be really special.
Shots!
We've got Rachel's 2-minute bang.
It's my turn already.
It sure is.
Let's bang.
There you go. Rachel, tell us about the pop music of 2022.
Taylor Swift,
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Blackpink, Harry Styles, Beyonce. I'm going to start from not my favorite to
If you start with Beyonce,
Better.
I'm gonna cry. You're gonna
Oh my
start
God,
with Beyonce.
really?
I'm gonna go cry on a corner.
God damn it. This is Beyonce's 7th studio album. This is being hailed as her best album ever. People love this album. Peaked at #1 in 14 countries. I thought it was a little overproduced. I thought there were too many cooks in the kitchen with it. The songs kind of had that feel of like this was created for TikTok. Harry Styles. Love him. He's handsome. He's so talented. Unfortunately, this falls under that TikTok stuff that I am just not a fan of. Like, it's too earwormy, it's too catchy, and it's too overplayed. I wrote white bitches love Harry Styles, and they do. He's great. Pink Venom. So this album, they have like a total of 20 songs ever that have been put out. So not a lot. I have a David Crosby Matt Award. I was quite disappointed when I first listened to Pink Venom, said Alex Lee, age 10. The lyrics sounded very lazily written, underwhelming, and boring. Alex, fuck off. This is what Blackpink does. It's all catchy. It's all great. Finally, we're gonna hit up T Swift. The first time I listened to it, I was like, it's not very different from anything she's put out before, but I do have to say I got a little bit of Stockholm's after listening to it repeatedly. I do think that it is going to fall into that super overplayed bits of music that I am going to learn how to hate. That's what I have for pop music.
So did you like any of them?
Rachel hates pop music
I
in
hate pop music
2022.
in 2020.
I'm kind of impressed.
It was
this.
all exactly what I expected out of these artists.
Let's go to our next album, Blue Rev by Alves.
Alves?
Alves.
Alves.
I looked up the genre Canadian indie pop.
Oh, that's right up Evil's alley.
They sound exactly like that description. It's fine. It's not my vibe. I could see this band having a rabid following.
This album is extremely highly reviewed.
I know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to be diplomatic about this. It's not dynamic to me. It's sort of Canadian indie pop rock. I mean, it's what it is. It's what it is. It's so unoffensive. It's so very that. And it's good for them.
I'm saying exactly what Evil just said in that I have kind of been the boy who cried one-dimensional this year, but there is so much fucking one-dimensional music this year.
Yeah.
There's so much. I've said it way too much, and it's not always fair. Bands are bands, and just because they have their own sound doesn't make them one-dimensional. But this album is one-dimensional. Holy shit. It's so one-dimensional. I swear to God, the vocals are the same 2 notes for like 50 fucking minutes. I wouldn't have not liked this so much if it wasn't so highly reviewed. But people love this album.
I know.
I get it. I hear the influences. I hear like Jesus and Mary Chain and the Cardigans, and I don't understand.
None of those bands are that good.
The Cardigans are so good.
Fuck the car. I love Jesus and Mary Chain, but I digress. I think this is my I don't get it
It's
album.
like power pop meets indie jam band. I like it for a very specific personal reason. It's nostalgic in a way because the whole album has a feel that reminds me of a lot of bands I've seen while drinking pitchers of cheap beer at the Neurolux. This has a very much like local
That's
voice.
nice.
I know it's a Canadian band.
When I think of Neurolux, I think more of Archers of Loaf.
Yeah.
Ratty
But
punk,
I feel like the
not
last
punk,
few
but
years as a Tree Fort venue, this is I don't know. It's like
You're old.
a lot of the indie bands that play little shows and little clubs.
Here's what I wrote. Some people got together and said, hey, you have an instrument. I have an instrument. Let's do music. I'm bored.
Hey, that was like the first band I ever was in was like that.
That's kind of how every band is.
I was gonna say that's every. I think-
I didn't like it. These guys. Please edit this. These guys won a Juno for best alternative album. People thinking it's this fantastic album because this last one was great. Then they think this one's going to be fantastic, and it was just not. It was real boring.
Evil, what's your favorite
I
song
hate
on
all
this?
you guys.
We love you.
I guess Pharmacist. I guess because the rest of them sound just like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, my favorite song is Pressed, I guess, if I was pressed to pick a song. There are good things that I can hear in this, but I don't fucking get it. This is The Cure if The Cure had the lamest fucking lead vocalist
Yeah.
ever.
Lottery noises.
you know.
You liked it. Rachel, did you have a favorite song on this?
My favorite song is Many Mirrors because it sounds like music from dumb 80s movies.
Dumb 80s.
Let's go to our next album, which is Crash by Charlie XCX.
Yeah!
I'm starting this one out. This isn't good. This is
Yep.
boring. It's good production. It slaps. I don't care. That doesn't make it good. It goes along with the deep saturation of bad synthwave. It is a female Justin Timberlake in a bad way.
Ooh.
It is songs like Lightning are so stupid. But if you're in the right mood, they are fun. Dancing 80s pop synth that isn't good. It is literally her trying to be David Byrne yelling lightning, but she doesn't know what or who that is. There might be the worst lyrics of the year on this. I got a story. This album is deceptive in that it could be seen as good. And I'm just going to explain to you guys why. If any of you think this is good, I'm going to explain to you why it's not. It's basically because you're drunk.
You're drunk.
There's a specific story I have when I was in the Navy where we went off to, we were in Malaysia, actually. We were in, we were in Singapore.
My neck of the woods.
And we got rip-roaring drunk off Tiger Beer, had a great night. At one point, we were in a club, and this music was playing, and I was like, what is this? Bam. So I get up the next day, and before I go back to the ship, I go buy the album. See, the problem was I was wasted in a fucking club. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you end up with a tattoo album. This is exactly that type of music.
I
That's a good
like
story.
that kind of music, and I'll agree that is exactly the kind of music this is. I'm a sucker for it, though. One man's trash is another man's funk pop. The production's awesome. I get so into how it's put together that I don't care about substance. And I definitely don't listen to Charlie XCX for content and substance. A lot of the music that I love to listen to and put on all the time is exactly that. It's things that I don't have to care about, listen to. I love the space that the mix creates in this album. There's a lot of this like reverby space. It's got a nice floaty feel for a dance album. A DJ having fun, and then someone that can have some voice that floats over everything. I think that's how this music is made.
I think the lyrics were great.
You
I don't
love
know.
it,
You're...
huh?
You're full of shit.
This was fucking fabulous. I wrote down that this is fine for club music, but outside of that, it is not worth anyone's time at all.
Oh, I thought you were
Ever.
serious.
No, not at all. This was
Ooh.
did not enjoy this.
What I want, she ain't got it.
She don't.
That's true.
My favorite song on this is Beg for You. I like the chord progression. It's like the In This Shirt, which is, you're going to get a good pop banger anytime that you do that.
Yeah.
Also, as a guy that travels a lot, the thought of a hot girl singing about being sad when you leave for the airport, I'm okay with that. Svend, what about you?
I like Good Ones.
I just liked yuck because of all of the words that she rhymed with the word yuck. I think she was very creative.
A, B, C, D, E, F. I actually, I actually thought New Shapes was catchy, even though I mocked it.
I mean, they're all
there.
catchy.
It's manufactured that way.
Yeah. Factory farmed pop music.
It's our favorite kind. Let's go to our next album, Closure / Continuation by Porcupine Tree.
I didn't like it. I was moist and all that stuff.
You were.
But I thought it was too long. It was just another COVID album, and I didn't think it was anything fabulous. I got bored. I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing.
Rhymes with
I'm
yuck.
sorry. Rhymes with yuck.
Evil.
Listen, it's Porcupine Tree. Most people are going to listen and be there and be like, what? And then music nerds are going to geek out over it in some way. If you're Svend, you like the production. If you're me, I like Porcupine Tree. I don't like everything that they do, but I mean, those drums.
Yeah.
He is so good. It's music nerd music, and they know it. In their catalog, it's an okay album. It's not in Absentia, which I love. It's not Fear of a Blank Planet, which I love. It's Porcupine Tree. I don't know.
This one, like Porcupine Tree, I love the intro.
Who's drunk now?
Yeah, well, I've been trying to compete, but you've made it a challenge. Rad slap bass groove. I like prog rock, so I'm going to like this. Took me a while to digest. This is one I had to listen to a few times, and I already forgot about it because my short-term memory has been damaged severely by life choices that I have made. There's a lot of stuff packed into Closure / Continuation, Dream Theater stuff. There's like this minstrelly, folky kind of sounding things. Lots of good 60s and 70s throwback riffs. Not at all the moist, saturated thing that I'm going to repeat here in just a minute when we get to the next album. Thank you for letting me redo that.
My first sentence that I wrote on this was, oh, hello, Primus. Oh, hello, Tool. Oh, hello, Cave-In. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Evil likes this. It's Porcupine Tree. It's the first song. It's almost like shoegaze if it wasn't for the drums.
Yeah.
The first time I heard The New Day, I was on a jog in this beautiful part of Vancouver on this boggy Washington morning with the sun rising. It was very perfect. That left an impression. The song Dignity Evil, a little bit of influence I heard was a little bit of Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Well, that's ironic because I have a David Crosby Matt Award for this here a little bit.
Yeah.
It's great. There's a little too many twists and turns for the sake of having twists and turns for me. It's really hard for me to stay focused. If you just want drums, I just want to listen to a drum album. Turn this album on. You will be fucking gobsmacked.
Yeah.
The drums are incredible in this album. Yeah. Evil, why don't you read us a review and give us your favorite song?
This is by user who goes by the handle Returns, which will make sense here in a little bit. Top 10 worst humans.
Oh.
Number 20. This is top 10 worst humans. Number 20, Jeffrey Dahmer. Number 19, that douchebag that yelled at me in the store for bumping into him by accident. How was I supposed to see you when you were turning around, when you were standing right behind me like a creep, asshole? Number 18, Akon. Number 17,
I'll agree.
Hitler.
Yeah. Oh.
Number 16, Epic Crap Battles of Shitstery. 15, Vlad the Impaler. Number 14, Mark. Number 13.
Yeah, fuck you, Mark.
Stepmother.
Both Marks that listen to this.
Oh, not
Number
Mark.
12, Burger King.
The rest of the marks suck.
The Witch Doctor. Ooh ee ooh ah ah ting tang walla walla bing bang. Number 10, superhero movies. Number 9, Brad said
Superhero
that
movies
Ween's
is higher
song
up.
Bumblebee
No.
sucks. Screw you, Brad. Please review the album still though. Looking forward to it. Number 8, Caligula. Number 7, Little Dick Dash Earth. Number 6, People Who Cheer When a Dog Survives in a Movie. Number 7, Joseph Mengele. Number 4, That Bitch That Left Me. I'm sorry, please come back. I promise to put you on the best humans list, not above Returns. Number 3, my 5-year-old brother asked me how ice cream men make money during other seasons since they don't sell ice cream. And I convinced him that they are a different species of humans, that they only live for 3 months during the summer, and then they lay their eggs and die, and other ice cream men are born next summer. Number 2, the guy who killed my parents. Number 1,
Jesus
Steven Wilson
Christ.
from Porky Swine Trash. This album sucks.
Wow.
You know, the guy had me until about 6 or 7, and then he kind of showed he's trying way too hard. Kind of brought it back a little bit on the second one.
Ugh.
Like, that's. Oh yeah, what's your favorite song on this, Evil?
Rat's Return. That's a jam. I like Rat's Return.
My favorite is Herd culling. 90
That was my-
90%
yeah,
sure it's
that's-
because anytime you have the phrase herd culling in a song, it's gonna be
Yeah,
fucking
that's a good
badass. Evil, friend Svend, what's your favorite song on this?
Gonna take me a few more listens to pick and narrow it down.
I don't like it. I don't want to pick a song.
You know what I mean?
Let's get to Surrender by Maggie Rogers.
Oh, so moist.
Friend.
I love how saturated this whole album sounds. Like every track is dripping wet,
Gross.
and like there's this.
Curl up.
It's moist. It's a moist album. That's the best way I can describe it. There's like this overdrive quality, the way things are panned. The vocals have such a velvety texture. You could probably touch it and pet it if you were on acid.
That's really pretty.
Other than that, cool effect. Again, another good one to listen to with headphones, I feel like.
Rachel.
Maggie Rogers, the love child of Sarah Bareilles and Carole King. I found this great. Very good. It was moist and warm. This is her second studio album. It was another one with a lot of 80s banger vibes to it, but it was chill and I enjoyed it. Not offensive in any way. Evil?
I guess she's just passing it off to me here.
I love the news anchor.
Here's my thought process
she done did
listening to this. Me, oh good, black and white photo of a chick with short hair and bangs. This is going to be fun. Sigh, listens. Wait, fuck. This is actually kind of good. I'm actually enjoying this. Fuck, I might be an idiot. Looks her up, watches Pharrell tearing up listening to a song and saying, I have no notes for this. That's basically how good it is.
Aw.
Oh yeah, I am an idiot. She's super talented. I like this album. It's saturated.
And moist.
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 So yeah, I've been following Maggie Rogers since most of you that listen is probably know, but yeah, there was a master class with Pharrell where he went to NYU or Juilliard or wherever she was, where he listened to the kind of the thesis of the senior students, talk to them about the songs they did, and Maggie Rogers was one of them. You watch it playing and you see Pharrell going through the emotions of holy fucking shit. And it gets done and everybody claps and Pharrell says, I have no notes for this. You're your own thing. She came out with that album in 18 or 19 or whatever. It's heard in a past life. It's fantastic. Wasn't as impressed with this. Fantastic production. Maybe it's just not my thing right now. The bass synth is fantastic through this whole album. Her message, I'd rather hear the wind than the song I'm supposed to know by some fucking bro. You have your career thanks to Pharrell, Maggie Rogers. He's one of those fucking bros. Like, I don't know. It's good. It's just maybe not my thing. Sven, what's your favorite song on this?
Oh, Anywhere With You.
Rachel, what's yours?
Shatter.
I don't know if I have a favorite yet. Horses stood out to me. I don't think it's my favorite, but that's the one that stood out. I'd have to listen to it more.
Begging for Rain is mine. Very pretty. Love the guitar production. Just absolutely outstanding. Are we all thumbs upping this? Are we?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems predominantly
I'm thumbs
positive.
upping
great.
it.
Next album,
Yes.
Dragon Newborn Mountain, I Believe in You by Big Thief. Rachel.
I didn't care for it.
All right.
Honestly, I didn't. What? No.
Evil.
First track, I'm like, this sounds exactly what I expected from a band and album named that.
Yep.
And then track 2, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I kind of like this song. I like track 2 a lot. And then track 3, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this like King Gizzard's full catalog and his whole album? And then I look and like, this is an hour and 20 minutes of this bullshit. Like, how many genres are they going to cram into this album?
All of them.
Yeah, it is ambitious. I will say that. I like some of it I don't, but it's ambitious.
I am a huge Adrienne Lenker fan, who she's the lead singer and lead writer of this stuff. I've been following her for however long. I think she came out like 8 years ago or 10 years ago or something like that. I've always loved her writing. This is country, and then it's not country, and then suddenly it's Fleetwood Mac, and then it's
There it is.
yeah, and there you go.
I knew it.
The guitar work, the drums, it's unbelievable. Tons of brilliance. Tons of unnecessary 4 minutes of meandering of the same thing, nonsensical guitar with no growth, no plateau, just blah, blah, blah. That's the big thing. You know, songs like Heavy Bend, which is the same 2 bars over and over and over. And then it gets intriguing. And then there's a brilliant loop. And then it's more, I think what makes this album not great is it doesn't know what the fuck it is. It's an hour and 20 minutes that could and should be 2 entirely different albums of conceived thoughts like 2 years apart. And I also, here's just a little DL, this guy's a fucking asshole thing. This band's tone, this band needs to be from fucking Texas or Georgia or Montana or what. They're from fucking Brooklyn. Okay? They're wearing their fucking festival hats. There's something about that bugs me. That's just me being dumb. Sven, what'd you think of Dragon Newborn Mountain, I Believe in You by Big Thief?
I think she's got like a slightly Dolly quality to her vocals, and that's what immediately drew me in.
Yeah, I like her.
Expecting the rest of the album to kind of follow suit, which I'm not gonna say I was disappointed, but I maybe like set the expectation too high, and that's also a really high bar to try to achieve.
Yeah.
Right? Like kind of unrealistic. I do love all the different sounds get pulled together in each track. It's kind of part country, part junkyard, part Radio Shack, modular synth. I do think they needed to edit. It's way too long of an album. I don't think it's 2 albums. I think it's 1 album.
Rachel, what is your favorite song?
I'm going to go Certainty. I didn't really care for a lot of it.
Evil?
Track 2, Time Escaping. That one caught me off guard in a good way.
Yeah, so Love, Love, Love is my favorite. Kind of what Sven was saying. I wish I could see this in like a Neuralux type of thing. It was that kind of song. The last thing I'll say on this, you know, for as much as I'm talking about how it meanders and it does this and it does that, it's so long. The one thing that I like is that usually when a band's doing that, the one we talked about, Black Country New Road, this doesn't seem self-indulgent at all to me.
No. Yeah.
It's still fresh and it's genuine. Hey, everybody. Let's take our last break and try as best we can to finish this motherfucking episode. We'll be right back. We are back.
Dogs.
Are we?
I don't know what this is.
Guys, we got one more 2-minute drill to do, and it's mine. And I'm calling it the 2 minutes earned. This is bands that have been grandfathered in. They deserve to be talked about because of their legacy or because of an album that they did previously that was incredible. We have to at least bring up their names.
Maybe.
I've broken my 2 minutes into 3 categories. Here are my 2 minutes, the earned 2 minutes. Category number 1, if you like the band doing the same thing it always does, you're going to like this just fine. Korn. I would compare this to Issues. You can hear John Davis's age. He is a little calmer, not a lot of screaming. It's fine. Along with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. came out with 2 albums, both of which are okay. They are a lesser good Stadium Arcadium. The second album they came out with was way better than the first, which is very weird. Along with that is the Black Keys. Have you heard a Black Keys album? Then you've heard this album. If you love it, you love it. It's great. But they are never going to do anything different. Bjork. Did you know Bjork is kind of weird? This is weird even for me, and I actually really like Bjork, but there are a lot of ill-conceived notions on here. The bottom line is, though, if you listen to a Bjork album, every once in a while you still are going to hit that part that just gives you massive goosebumps. Bridging the gap to my next category is Florence and the Machine. It's very Florence and the Machine. I am goddess and woman is king, and if you dig that, you will dig this. Category number 2. This is actually good, and you should listen to it, even if you don't care about the band. Silver Sun Pickups. Really, really good band. Really, really good album. They didn't reinvent the wheel, but they fit perfectly into that dark COVID claustrophobic thing that was going on. New Archers of Loaf. This is the first Archers of Loaf album in 20 years or whatever since White Trash Heroes. It's much lighter, and it comes out of the gate kicking like a mule. Also, probably the best one out of all of them is the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I was shocked. I started listening to it about 4 days ago. Amazing album. Category number 3, Time to Hang Up the Stirrups. The Arctic Monkeys. Hey, remember when you did Bet You'd Look Good on the Dance Floor or Are You Mine? You are not a fucking lounge act, and you don't have a singer to be a lounge act. Stop it. And the one that pains me the most, the Mars Volta. Mars Volta, you're supposed to challenge me. You bored me. Broke my heart. That is my 2 minutes. So sad. Let's go to our next album, The Unraveling of Pup, the band by Pup. If you whisper, I can't hear you.
I didn't know this band existed, which is embarrassing, and they're fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed them. Doug Marshy kind of vibe, which I very much enjoyed.
I like that you just use droning and Doug Marsh in the same sentence.
I heard that too.
I know. Spaniards can't play the bagpipes.
Name of this episode is Spanish Bagpipes.
Keep going. It can only get better.
Can it?
Beer hurts when
I
it
really
gets
enjoyed
low.
this. I really enjoyed Pup the Band, and I kind of want to listen to more Pup the Band now. Time.
Evil.
This is a wild band. I also was unfamiliar with them. It's like punk without any of the rules or descriptors that you would use to describe punk at all. It's like prog punk.
Mm-hmm.
It is very refreshing. This is what 2020 punk should be.
Oh, okay.
It breaks all of the rules of what you would think punk is, and that is punk.
Yeah, it's Flaming Lips meets Weezer.
Yeah.
I said Weezer too.
No, you didn't.
I did in my notes. You just can't see them.
I don't know what it was about this. I listened to it a ton. I couldn't get sucked in. And it was funny because I knew it was the type of band that I was, why aren't you liking this? It was like softcore punk to me. It was like B stage of the Vans Warped Tour. Like,
Yikes.
I don't know if it was just, it might have been, and I'll just lead off with favorite songs. The first song was by far the best song to me. Maybe that kind of, after that, you're chasing the dragon and you don't get it.
Here's the thing. So the first song was the 4-chord song, and then you have 4 chords part 2.
Or I'm sorry, not the 4 chords, the
Okay.
next song, the song after 4. Yeah.
Because I was like, you kind of get that
Like,
refreshed.
Lately I've been down the pit. That song.
How was it?
Lately I've been down the pit.
Same. Also my
That
favorite song.
Totally fine. That's the
Totally
name.
fine.
We're skipping
Oh,
straight
shit.
to
Sven-
favorite song.
Sven has
God damn it.
had a chance
Just
to
let
talk
him
about
say
this.
something.
I think I'm going to advocate for my friend Sven here.
He is your friend.
I'm so sorry. I've been drinking a lot of kachaka.
I don't like honestly. I don't know that I have to say that much more because everything's already been said. Weezer meets Modest Mouse meets Built to Spill with big sing-along choruses. I liked it probably a little bit more than everyone else.
I think they really liked it.
I-
think
Why
do you
was the
think
only
you're
one that
better than
didn't.
us?
Were you the only one that shat on it?
I was the only one that, well, and I didn't shit on it. It was just, you know, those albums that you know that you should like on paper. It's like, holy fuck, this is a me album, but you just
Yeah, I
can't.
picked this for you.
can't
Why?
fucking- I think all of you picked it for me.
No.
That's true.
Because it's Weezer
Except
meets
Evil.
Modest Mouse
You should
meets
love
Built to
them.
Spill.
Evil, what's your favorite song?
Waiting. That was the heaviest. Therefore,
was.
it's my favorite.
That's Pup the Band. Let's go to Coping Mechanism
It's Sven's favorite
by
album.
Willow. Evil, tell us about Willow Smith.
I don't understand what's going on with this album. I feel like I am in the Matrix and things are awry because I like it. Why is it good?
Why?
I don't understand.
And that's Evil. Okay. The first note that I have is there are songs on this that don't make sense. There are direct ripoffs in this from the guitar is the fucking Strokes in many, many spots. I went through the same thing I think that Evil did. I start listening to it and I'm like, wait, is this good? But it's Willow Smith. It can't be good. It doesn't make any sense. For me, by like song 3, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. This is a super, 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 super produced. She brought in, what's his name? The guy that does. What's funny is my first thought on this was this is fucking Olivia Rodrigo if she was backed by Pussy Riot. And
Oh.
the guy that produced this with her is the guy that produces Pussy Riot, which makes so much sense. But I gotta tell you, there's a couple songs on this that are fucking awesome. And it's weird. It's so weird.
It is so weird.
Svend, I want to hear about your relationship with this album.
I have a few playthroughs of this album. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up in my Spotify Wrapped. All the observations thus far, very well
Yeah.
produced. It makes me feel like I wish that there's a lot of my favorite bands and favorite albums that had the treatment and care in production that this got. I had not listened to anything Willow's done before this. It's one that I've struggled with, and I still struggle with. Is it a good album, or is it one of those albums that's really good at tricking you into thinking it's a good album?
That's the question.
Yeah, I still don't know where I fall on that. The vocal delivery, I feel like, comes across genuine enough that it ties everything together. Might not be like a great album, but it's fucking good, and it makes me want to listen to it over and over. It's an addictive album. I can't pick a favorite song. There's several on here.
All of the writing credits are Willow and Grady.
Right.
But then you look at the tracks and Grady does the guitar, bass, drums, percussion, background vocals, production, engineering. So that's the thing about an album like this. Yeah, it's Willow. This ain't fucking Willow. Rachel,
I would just like to say that I called this last year at the finale.
that song sucks.
The song's good, but I kind of feel like I called that this would be a thing. I think that she is talented. I think that she is a very talented nepotism baby. And I don't think that this is a fantastic album that she put together. I think that she had people around her that were great, and she has an iota of talent. And so those things combined made this a really great album that people are going to like and people are going to buy and TikTok to. I thought it was great. It is not anything original. Lyrics were pretty plain and pretty lazy. It was good.
This is the best shitty album I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, sure.
Evil, what's your favorite song on this?
So this is where it gets weird. When I'm listening to this album, I have all these things running through my head. I'm like, is this fucking really good? And I'll be so into it. I've listened to this album, maybe not as much as Sven, but a bunch. And then I turn it off and I put it away and I can't remember a fucking thing about it.
Right. I 1,000% agree with that.
I have no idea what my favorite song is. Is it Fool's Gold? Like what? It's troublesome to me, this album, because I like listening to it. I put it on, I enjoy it, and then I turn it off and then it's gone.
My favorite song is You're a Stranger. I think there's a lot of good stuff on this album. Man, it's a lot of the same blot, but I think You're a Stranger is... I've had that song in my head for like a fucking week solid. Sven, what's your favorite song on this?
It changes daily. Currently, it's Why. Throw a dart any given day. And I get what Evil's saying. Like, as much as I do love this and as much as I've played it over and over and over, and I have listened to this album over and over and over, there's no earworms. It's hard to pick a favorite song.
Rachel?
Did you say my name?
Yeah, what's your favorite song?
Okay. I 1,000% agree with everyone else besides David. It slaps so hard, but it's not memorable whatsoever. And if you asked me to name any song on this album without looking at my notes in front of me, I could not tell you.
Let's go to our next album, In the Wild by the Interrupters. Into the Wild by the Interrupters. Fun first track, anthem for every kid ever. Gotta get out of my hometown and get down to LA or New York or wherever and do my thing. It's cute. That's what I kept coming up with. This album is cute. It's fun to hear a new band try to do the old Rancid sort of thing. And no doubt, the little howl with the Raised by Wolves, it's really well engineered. I don't love the production, but I think the engineering is really good. Sometimes there's an album where I catch myself being like, do this now. And they don't do that a lot on this. It's kind of frustrating. This grew on me. My daughter fucking loves this album. Loves it. Which makes it even cuter.
Cute's a really good way to... yeah. Everything you just said, it feels like I'm trying to be angsty, but I don't know how to be angsty, so I'm going to listen.
She's 42. What are we doing here? There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but I mean, that I think kind of comes across as like, it's trying to sound like something 3 decades earlier.
She's 43 and you're an ageist.
Oh!
I love this album. I love the Interrupters. I do enjoy their other previous Fight the Good Fight. I enjoyed Fight the Good Fight better, but this was great. This is very similar. I mean, it kind of falls for me into that same category as all of the pop that I just covered. It's exactly what you would expect from this band. It's nothing new and exciting, but it's still great, grand, wonderful. And it's a happy album and it's good for kids and all that stuff. Even though an old lady's on it. Am I right, David? Back me up. She's old as shit.
No, that's not at all. She's singing about how she needs to leave her hometown to get to where she's singing subjects that an 18-year-old should be singing about.
She should have left her town a while ago. Am I right? No. She can't have these thoughts as a 43-year-old.
So there's nothing new on this album. Nothing new. It still kind of rocks. I enjoy it. I like this album. I'm going to listen to this more. I'm not a huge ska punk fan, but I like the way that they do it. It's corny, well executed fun. Mm-hmm. I love Raised by Wolves. That song's fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's not great, but it's just fun. And then you learn about, like Tim Armstrong was on this album. So it's not like they're totally faking it. Yeah. The guitar player, the whole band's a bunch of brothers. She's married to the guitar player. They're in the scene. It's not like they're not posers. If you listen to Raised by Wolves, it's kind of her life story. She grew up in a foster home. She had kind of a rough upbringing, but they figured out a way to turn it into a commercial venture. And I tell you what, I fucking want to see this band live.
Yeah.
I want to go be in the audience when the whole audience is doing the oh, and I think it would be a blast.
That is The Wild by the Interrupters. Actually, overall, positive. All 4 of us liked it. I think Worst for Me is the best song.
Oh, yeah.
But if you were to ask my daughter, Raised by Wolves is song of the year.
Going with your daughter's favorite. Honestly, they're kind of all.
I also said Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, Raised by Wolves.
Yay.
That's a great track.
We all agree.
It's so fun. It's clever.
Ow.
Hey.
We got 2 more to do and then we'd be done like dinner. Being Funny in a Foreign Language by the 1975. I can't wait for Evil's already shaking his fucking head. Svend, what'd you think about this?
It was something.
It was an album. There was music on it.
It was an album. Kind of reminded me of the soundtrack movies that came out in the late 80s, early 90s that this was the music that was playing during the credits, maybe.
1000%.
A lot of times. It's not shitty. It's not great. It just kind of is. I don't know much about this band, and I feel like I didn't give them much of a chance. It was just a quick playthrough.
I agree with my good friend, Evil's friend, Svend. I wrote down that this sounds like yacht rock that the entire family can enjoy. It was just good, easy listening, happy music. It was great.
I can't take a band seriously that titles the first track the same name as their band name on every fucking album they put out. That's also they took their name from a book of Jack Kerouac poems.
Sure did.
If you are a fan of Jack Kerouac
Careful.
and you are also a fan of Metallica, you're a formidable human being. If you're a fan of Jack Kerouac but don't like Metallica, you're a fucking poser.
I agree. I'm very glad you said that. I am insulted by the fact that these guys claim. Okay. There are two types of Jack Kerouac lovers. There are real amazing people, and there are the people that want to say, well, I love Jack Kerouac.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are the second. This guy has done a really good job of staying in the pop culture by doing things like talking about how Metallica is the worst band of all time, or eating a raw steak on stage, Ozzy Osbourne, but without being cool sort of stuff. I was really excited for this. So I'm not a single listener, but I gave in and I listened to the single on this when it first came out, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. This album is not good. This is, if Cyndi Lauper got a lobotomy, that would be this.
Oh my God.
It's the most boring 80s bullshit. Like, it has these really super cheesy, which I actually like, Stan Ridgway-ish type guitars. To me, this is the perfect example of a lot of those 2022 album, like mediocre albums. It's just fucking there. We all know who Paul Rudd is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know when Paul Rudd does his cheesy, whatever dance?
Yes.
This is what he has in his head
Yeah.
when
That's
he's
fair.
doing that dance.
Oh
That's
my
fair.
God.
Rachel?
I said About You, ridiculous saxophone solo in the background for a minute.
Evil?
I'm going to use my time to shit on him a little bit more.
Heyo.
There's like video of him performing at a show wearing a Cannibal Corpse t-shirt. And I'm like, you're about the same amount of a Cannibal Corpse fan as Khloe Kardashian is.
Oh,
I mean, this is the generation
love 'em.
that thinks Nirvana is a t-shirt brand. And
Yeah.
I can't take it seriously.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Last album of the night, and then we're almost done. We only have about 6 things to do after that. So excited, you guys. Rachel, you can
David.
quit anytime you want.
night.
Billy Woods is Church.
Bro, I enjoyed Billy Church. Billy Woods.
Billy Church.
Mama's tired. It's 1 a.m. I loved Billy Woods. Earlier, when we were talking about Denzel, this is who I was comparing him to. Billy Woods is a better version, a more mature, older. The lyrics were better. They were more refined.
The weed's overgrown.
I read a
weed's
review that
overgrown.
the album sounded like a fever dream. And I thought that was very appropriate. A lot of times when I was listening to it, it was a little bit chaotic in my brain. But when I focused a little bit more on it, it made a little bit more sense. It was really good. The lyrics were complex and very well written. Fabulous. It was really, really great. I super enjoyed, and I had never heard of Billy Woods before, but fabulous.
Evil.
I have a question. I'm being serious.
Okay.
Why did we pick this one and not the one he put out earlier in the year?
You picked it.
I picked Billy Woods.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Ah.
Interesting.
I think
You
this
idiot.
album's good.
The other one's better?
The other one is fantastic.
Ooh, I didn't listen to the other one.
And so to me, it's like when System of a Down put out 2 albums in the same year. And the first album was amazing. And the second one was like pretty good. But that's how I feel about this album.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's good, but it's flat compared to Ethiopes. Ethiopes is fucking phenomenal.
All right.
Good to know.
Second album of the year, and I didn't listen to the first. That's my first line, so I guess I need to. It's not in my wheelhouse. The berating spoken word rap, I don't do well with it. I need rhythm. I need the beats are good, but it doesn't go along with it. I need a good cadence. I need Tupac. I need my Tupac. I love how progressive he is. It's unique. He's challenging his genre regarding things like homosexuality and climate change. And Climate change, like besides RZA, I've never heard a fucking rapper talk about any sort of environmental anything. It's incredibly bright. He's citing authors and lesser known foreign historical events, and it's impressive. His religious views seem very progressive, and yeah, sure, praise God, whatever, but who gives a fuck? Like, be a good human. You don't hear rap about that sort of stuff. But yeah, for me, it's just the actual flow and the beats. I didn't love it. So now I am extremely intrigued to listen to his other album. Sven.
Really similar to everything. Like the content, I can get on board with. I love to hear what he has to say. The delivery for me was where it fell flat, literally flat. The whole album was very just like a one big plateau. It was hard to get into because of, I don't know, it's just the beats.
I fucking love this album, guys.
Oh, I am so happy for you, because if you love this,
I'm excited to listen to the other one now that I know that there's another one.
So I also am excited to go listen to like earlier stuff.
My favorite song on this was Classical Music, and it was so good that I called my brother and said, you need to listen to this guy. It's so great. Every line of the lyrics, you can just dissect everything. And it comes back to when people actually make lyrics, poetry.
Evil?
Listen to Ethiops, everybody. I'm using my time to promote his other album.
Schism. There was something about that beat and everything that did work for me. It's like a demented Dr. Dre. Yeah. Svend, what about you?
I have classical music written down.
Nice.
Could be anything.
Those are all the albums, everybody.
Yay.
I got some questions for everybody, and then I'm going to let Rachel get to her Taco Bell or whatever that is back there.
Run from that border.
Guys, I got some awards. I've got the Mothball Award. What's the album out of all these, Svend, that you listened to once and you threw back in the closet?
Probably God's Country, Chat Pile. Yeah, that was one of those. I mean to revisit at some point in the future.
No, you don't. It's got mothballs on it. Rachel?
I'm kind of thinking Big Thief. Just didn't care about it.
Evil?
It was I Walked With You a Ways.
Mine was Charlie XCX and The Midnight. Those both got dunked to the closet. Instant Replay Award. Evil, which one did you keep going back to?
Ooh.
Not necessarily a favorite, but you just, wait, I need to...
Motomami. 100%. Yeah.
Mine is Viagra Boy or Big Thief. I struggled with both of them the most. Those are I can't fucking figure out what's going on here. Svend, what's your Instant Replay Award?
Probably Coping Mechanism.
It's Willow. Yeah, that's the answer.
With a later runner-up, I Walk With You, the Plains album. That one's creeping up now that I've stopped listening to Willow as much.
Rochelle?
I want to say Motomami as well, but I also think that I go back to Pup repeatedly because it's something that I didn't know existed, and I kind of want to listen to it over and over again.
Cool. This is my Breaking Bad award. So I want you guys to know, I watch Breaking Bad once a year. To this day, I don't know if I like it or not. This is the I don't know if I like it or not award. Rachel, right back to you.
Coping mechanism, probably.
Everybody's shaking their head. Evil?
Yeah. It's coping mechanism.
Yeah. Like on repeat forever and still don't know.
Mine's
Conundrum.
Big Thief. Big Thief might be absolutely brilliant. I don't know. Disappointment Award. Nothing fancy here. Which album disappointed you the most? I'll start with mine. Mine's 1975. I thought 1975 was going to be a good album. It was not.
I had higher hopes for Hellfire. I liked it, but it didn't live up to everything I thought.
Rachel?
I don't know why I expected more from Charlie XCX.
It's a pretty well-reviewed pop album. That's understandable.
It's wildly well reviewed. I'm
It's
like,
like literally
Yeah.
what Charlie XCX.
I think I expect musicians to evolve eventually in their career. And this is just exactly what it was. It was just everything that's already happened.
I have two, and I don't know which one's worse. Tovlo and Chat Pile, those two albums. Tovlo, I listened to it briefly, and I'm like, I think this is good. And then I sat down and listened to it, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not good at all. It's terrible. Chat Pile was more of a slow... I don't think it's terrible. I had really high hopes for it.
I think the answer is Chat Pile.
I had high hopes for it, and it kind of unraveled for me. I expected that to be like album of the year contender, and then I listened to it over and over, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not.
The Grew on You Award. Rachel, the more you listen to it, the more you
Taylor
loved
Swift.
It.
I don't know. Even though I loved it to start out with, I kind of want to say Motomami. It was great,
It grew
but it got even better and better and better.
evil.
I think it's I Love You, Jennifer B.
Mm.
I think that one's going to be, I have high hopes for it.
Foreshadow.
I have high hopes for it. We will see.
I have two. It's the Interrupters and Black MIDI. The more I listen to those, the more I got into
Oh,
them.
nice.
Svend?
For me, it's also I Love You, Jennifer B, Jockstrap. Each play, I hear something new.
Couple more things and we're done, you guys. Least favorite album of the batch, Evil. What you got?
Oh, man. That's a hard one.
That's what she said.
That's different from worst.
Sure.
Could be. Depends.
I'll throw them under the bus even further. The 1975. I didn't even give it a go, really. So
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I like that. Rachel?
I want to say Big Thief. I don't. No, Black MIDI. They're their own thing.
Your least favorite is Black MIDI?
No, just because they're not my taste. That doesn't make them Big Thief. Final answer.
Okay. I'm
that was
so confused.
an adventure.
Svend?
God's Country, Chat Pile.
Oh, wow.
It's not that I'm giving up on it completely, but it's going to take a lot more for me to come around, I think.
Mine is Alexissus on Fire. I expected more and I really didn't like it. But now let's go a little more positive. And I have a feeling about this. I think we all might have the same.
No.
You're wrong.
Evil, what's your favorite of the batch?
Oh, this is going to be confusing for all of you.
Charlie XCX.
It is
it's-
Alexis on Fire.
Did not see
Really?
that coming.
It is.
Is it really?
I just really dig that album.
I was
Fuck you
right.
for not having Portrait Country. How about you gotta take a shot, Evil? Rachel, what was your favorite album?
Nobody guessed it. Billy Woods.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, we did not guess that. That's
I
true.
thought it was very well written.
That's
well
your
performed.
favorite out of all
Yep.
those. Wow.
You guys don't understand my love
Svend?
for rap
Oh,
music.
you're going to really dig his other albums.
Mine was Dragon You War Mountain. For
Is
real.
it really?
But I've been really
Wow.
into country, bluegrass, folk. Yeah.
And you like that over the Plains one?
Yeah, just narrowly.
Wow. That's
The
surprises
production.
me.
I think it's the
Uh,
production that makes the difference.
Well, I was very wrong. Then we don't at all have all the same. Mine was Moto Mommy.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I fucking loved
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
It was good.
Let's be quick about it because everybody's tired.
That's what he said.
I'll start it off. Let's do some final thoughts on this year's releases. I was continually disappointed. I think it was my fault. It might have been my mood. There's also, and this was the episode that helped me realize it, that I think that there are a lot of wait. This is probably kind of brilliance in this year. And I am really looking forward to our revise and revisit in 2023 about this year. I think that next year, our talk about this year's albums is going to be fucking crazy. Sven, what are your final thoughts on this year's releases?
Ditto. There's 3 albums we didn't talk about that I totally regret not submitting for this that also I think we'll cover in the future. Out of everything that we did cover this year, there's just too fucking much. My head hurts.
There's too much. Rachel?
There was a year of music. That's what this was. It was just, there was so much. There was so much really good stuff, and there's so much garbage. We tried.
Evil, go.
I have found more music that I like this year in genres that are not my most comfortable
Yay.
genres of music to listen to.
That's awesome.
There's been some good metal releases, but I've found more hip hop, more alt rock, more pop stuff. I've always had fairly broad tastes, but this year really catered to it
Yay.
well. That's been very refreshing. I'm a little disappointed in the broad metal releases, but there's been some fucking really good metal albums too. They're just not as many as I
This year
expected.
spread evil wide.
Heyo.
Perfect.
We did it.
Saturated.
Moist.
It was long.
Very moist.
Rhymes with
The
yuck.
problem is, what I did not foresee is that none of you did I didn't really listen to this. You guys are doing too much homework nowadays. Chill the fuck out. Look, we got a lot of new albums in this year. I'm proud of us. I think we did great. I'm going to see you guys in a couple weeks. Evil, I'm sad that Chat Pile wasn't everything that you hoped it could be. Rachel, I'm sorry that Midnights isn't everything that you hoped it could be. Svend,
That's okay.
I'm sorry that you liked Big Thief so much. It's kind of awesome. I'm glad. Everybody join us next week. Revise and revisit. We're all going to be together
Yay.
talking as one about 2021, our choices back then. Were they right? Were they wrong? How stupid were we back then? So stupid. It's late. We're not
Quick.
even drunk anymore. We're all already hungover. That's how long we've been doing this. Rachel's got a big bag of Taco Bell in the background.
I'm fine.
We love you all. Good night and good luck.
Good night. Miss you.
Oh, I